so keep that in mind.
Yeah, hey, forget I asked.
That'll definitely do.
Ew. Join the Discord.
It was the least fun I've ever had playing this game.
A small but vibrant and extremely humble community.
No, I've seen the sleeves, but I'm like, you said you're suiting up, and then you put your sleeve on. Thank you for saying that.
Because I'm a demon on the keys.
Next thing I know, we're both dead. I immediately left the lobby.
In Vietnam.
What are they playing for? Are they playing to win?
Stay humble.
Stay humble.
We are live. That intro never gets old, even though it's only been 2 episodes, so of course it's not old yet. My name is Casey, also known as Razanon. I'm joined, as always, by my good friend Tanner. Tanner, say hello to everyone.
Hello, everyone.
And today, we've got a really short podcast for you. But it might not be that short, because I've got some words. I've got some words for Infinity Ward. And some proclamations made by Tanner and I to remind everyone of in these sparse, patchless times. So, couple little announcements, little bit of housekeeping before we get started. Last time I solicited you guys to help me out with a logo. Absolutely fucking 0 of you reached out. So thanks for that. No, one person reached out. My boy Shadow. Shout out to Shadow. He has a sister that does like animation and stuff, but I'm not sure her first of all, she's literally 13 years old. So I don't know if she can make the type of animation I make, because there's going to be guns and violence and blood in it. And that's against the ESRB. Now, she's Canadian, so who knows what kind of fucking laws they have up there. So maybe she can make blood splatters and things of that ilk for me, but we'll see. But besides that, I've got nothing. So I'm going to pursue that avenue a little bit. I don't know what child labor laws are like either. Can I hire a 13-year-old contractor? And now this is international business, because I live in the United States of America, because I'm a fucking American, where we get surveilled by
black helicopters
every day. I don't live in the free state of Canada. I live in a police state where
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Alex Jones lives. So anyways, I'm still looking for the goddamn logo. And I think I've fleshed out my idea a little bit more since the last podcast. I think what I want to do is make like a little intro animation, and then it ends with like the logo. So it'll be like some dude gets shot, blood splatters on a wall, it says the Dropshot, and then it pans to some dude prone with his gun, and it says a Call of Duty podcast. And that last frame that it fades to, I want that to be the logo. I want it to look nice and professional. So anyways, if you guys know anyone still soliciting logo artists, hit me up in Discord or on Twitter. Or even if you guys don't know anyone and you don't do it yourselves, if you know of a good website to use, I would be interested in you letting me know, because Fiverr blows ass really bad. Everyone doesn't live next to me. So keep that in mind. So I would love that. Let me catch up on chat a little bit here. 2 more days. Hell yeah, Tim. What's up, Cry? Damascus? Shady. Yeah, Shadow, dude. Good old Shadow. I just found if you sub to a girl on Twitch, she legally has to be your girl. Yeah, that's what most people think, Blood. I'm not sure that's true though. How's it going, man? Cubus, what up, big dog? How's it going? Damascus with the fucking gifted sub. So by the way, if you're not listening to this live, you're missing out on this small, vibrant, humble community. I'm talking to chat live right now, as you can obviously tell. Damascus, thank you for that sub, brother. It is an honor and a privilege, and I appreciate you, man. And just fantastic. Thank you very much, sir. So anyway, still looking for the logo. Onto that. So make sure you guys join the Discord so you can hit me up there, or find a squad, or talk about the pod, or whatever the fuck you want to do. Oh shit, 5 subs. What? This man is insane, dude. Damascus, 6 subs. Oh my God. Thank you so much, dude. Let's get some Razano goods in the chat since you all fucking have one now. Fantastic, dude. Damascus, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you, man. Let's fucking go. Hell yeah, dude. That's a good way to start what was going to be a shit podcast, isn't it, Tanner?
It's already been 5 minutes longer now just from Damascus gifting the fuck out of some subs.
Yeah, dude. Thank you, brother. We appreciate you. The Dropshot LLC is forever indebted to you. We have a Wookiee life debt. That's a Star Wars reference. Someone play Knights of the Old Republic. It's older than half of you in this chat. So keep that in mind. Thank you, Damascus. I appreciate it, man. Another one to Cubus, dude. Can't miss Cubus. Cubus, congratulations, brother. And Chris, and Classy Dude, and Crichton, and Destro, and Kaylee. So. Oh, Crichton. Crichton, thank you for that gifted sub. Sorry, dude. I can't read. Too much going on. Crichton, thank you, King. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you. Damn, what a good start, dude. This is fantastic. I appreciate all the support, boys. I love you very much. So now hopefully I can deliver some content worthy of those subs. So, like I said, don't suggest Fiverr to me, but suggest a better website where I can hire a North American who maybe speaks English, who's maybe a native English speaker. That's ideal. Because along with the time zone communication mishaps, I was also just having some good old-fashioned language barrier issues. And it wasn't my fault, because as anyone who listens to this podcast knows, my command of the English language is second to none. So find someone who can come close. Someone who grew up speaking English. That'd be great.
Your English is pretty well versed, I must say.
Thanks.
You probably know more words in the English dictionary than anybody I know.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible.
Fucking nerd.
Yeah,
gaming nerd.
Fucking nerd. Absolutely. All right. So also, I'm going to be making so if you guys can't tell, I'm trying to thrust this podcast into the mainstream. I want to make it nice and professional looking. And another thing I'm trying to do in that vein is make a trailer for the podcast. So if you guys ever particularly liked some clip, something that was said on any previous episode, please let me know what clip that was. I can throw it in the trailer. That's part of the reason I want that animation. That'll be like the beginning animation for the episodes, but also for that trailer. That would be cool. And then I'd want to end the trailer with like the professional kind of logo that I'm looking for. So if you have any clips that you've enjoyed from the podcast, please let your boy know. So that is it in the way of announcements. I'm sure, Tanner, you don't have anything to say.
I don't have shit to say.
Here's one more announcement. Tanner bit my headset idea. Tanner, what kind of headset is that?
Steel Series. Except I paid $200 less than yours, and it's the same quality.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It's not the same quality. So Tanner liked my headset so much that he wanted to get one himself. But
yeah,
he doesn't have that long paper because he has more expenses than me because I have Arrested Development and I live with my parents. So he got a nice headset. It's also white. So now his pasty ass skin looks a little better in contrast to the literal paper white of his headset. So he should have spent that money on a webcam. Listen, guys, I've been getting the comments. I agree. Tanner needs a better webcam.
Who's ever had that comment?
Dude, I've got the documents. Call me Alex Jones. I have the documents. A lot of people want Tanner to get a better webcam. I get it. He wasted his money on a headset, and you guys won't see the quality.
30%
it doesn't
off.
improve the podcasting experience at all. I know, dude.
Steel Series,
Don't
30%
tell me.
off.
Tweet it to Tanner at TANNERRRR54.
Okay, let me.
And if you don't get carpal tunnel on the way, congratulations. Finish the tweet and say, thanks for throwing your money away on a headset when you could have bought a webcam that costed more than $20.
Would that shit webcam have gotten me an 11.36 KD on Zokov Boneyard last night with
Jesus
125 kills? I
Yeah,
don't think
Tanner
so.
had a thick game in
So
Ground War
shut the
last
fuck
night.
up.
100-something kills. And what was it? Give me the spread exactly.
125 kills and 11.36 KD.
He's a demon. He's a demon. He's a
I
demon.
had just fucking dropping the score streaks on him.
Yeah, he was drop-shotting kids, calling in white phosphorus, also known as war crimes, which is my favorite kill streak for that reason and that reason alone. And that's pretty much it in the way of announcements. Tanner also cleaned up his room. He's taking lessons from my boy Jordan Peterson, whose poster is behind me. So that's good. And the lighting is a lot better, which makes his literal $17 webcam look better. It was $17 after taxes, right?
That's not bad. For $17,
It was
looks pretty good.
$17 USD after taxes. Imagine
pay
buying a
taxes.
webcam, but not even spending $20 on it. When
that
you're a part
crazy?
of a professional podcast like the Dropshot LLC Incorporated trademark patent pending, it's absurd. It's absurd. It's a tax write-off that he didn't take advantage of. So,
Yeah.
anyways, we're just gonna keep those things in mind. Let's see here. Trying to catch up on chat here real quick. Chat is popping off tonight, dude. You love to see it. Ben's on the bench tonight. I won't be denied. I'm sure, dude. All right. So first note here. I want you guys to take a look at this note with me. Okay. So here we go. Recent patches. Can you read what recent patches we have, Tanner? Hold on. Before you say anything, you might not see it, so let me make it bigger for you. Okay, go ahead. Can you read it?
Yeah, so the recent patches say none. LMAOOOOOO.
Zero
That's
patches.
Laughing my ass off, by the way.
So since we started this podcast, we have not had a single week go by where literally nothing in the game changed until now. And the reason for that, we're going to get into. But if anyone can guess before we get into it, I would be unsurprised if you could guess, because it's not fucking hard to figure out. But I'm also curious if any of you have huge brains like Tanner and I do. So, COVID-19 says Tanner54 in chat is an interesting guess. That actually is an interesting point that I didn't consider, to be totally honest with you. But that's not what I was thinking. So,
No, I know the real reason. We both do.
yeah. At least Tanner doesn't, I think is what you meant to say, have a bunch of RGB fairy shit. This is production quality. Welcome to 2020. Crichton. Okay. All right, so literally no patch notes to go over. There are no patches. There was supposed to be a patch. It didn't happen, obviously. We delayed this episode one day. We usually have it on Wednesdays, but I was exhausted yesterday. I couldn't sleep Tuesday night. Don't really know why. And plus, there was no patch, which was expected to have happened by then. So we delayed it for another day so I could rest up a little more. And we were hoping there would be a patch tonight or whatever, this earlier today that we could talk about, but that's not the case. So we still have nothing for you in the way of recent patches, but we do have a couple little news items that we would like to go over with you guys. So now we will turn to one of my favorite resources, Charlie Intel. This week in MDub and Warzone, new map, new operator, and more. So what they will be doing is a new 6v6 map called Candor Hideout. Have you seen anything for this besides like the little trailer, Tanner?
No, I've just seen the little picture. It's some sort of desert map. That's literally the only thing I know.
If there's anything we didn't have enough of in this game, it's desert maps, huh? Fucking joke. Hopefully there's no caves and it'll be fine. I actually don't mind desert maps in and of themselves if they're well lit. And you would think a desert map would be well lit, but we will see. But I mean, listen, normally I'm super excited for new maps, for new multiplayer maps, especially. That's why I play Call of Duty, for the multiplayer. But in this game, this is the first game ever where I don't give a fuck about new maps most of the time. And that includes this case because 6v6 is complete garbage in this game, which is kind of insane because Call of Duty's multiplayer for more than 10 years since its inception has been built on the back of the core game mode, which is 6v6. And this is the first game where they've ruined 6v6. It's not fun. I would say the biggest reason for that is the other shit maps. So even if you added Raid and Nuketown to the 6v6 rotation, I'm still really not interested, because I still have to dodge without a map voting system, by the way. I still have to dodge Piccadilly, Azir Cave. What other shit 6v6 maps are there? I play it so little I can't even remember.
All of them.
Rust is fucking garbage.
I know, I can't even think of any because I haven't played it.
Dude, I haven't played it in so long I can't even think of any. But those three alone is kind of enough. I mean, Hackney is good. Ramaza's good. Gunrunner's good. But I think there are more that we're not.
Well, those are
thinking
10s
of.
now.
They're also 10s now.
Oh,
Yes.
they're also okay.
Yeah, but they're 6s too. So anyway, I don't know. I mean, Crash doesn't really. Crash is okay, actually. Crash is not bad in this game, but it's not great. But then another problem with 6v6 is that because the sprint out time is so shit in this game, and because there's no mini-map functioning as it used to, then it's extremely campy. In 10v10s, people don't camp as much. There's a lot more going on. And even if there are people camping, there's still 10 people on the other team. So even if a lot of them or even most of them are camping, there's still going to be plenty of people not camping for you to kill. So there's always going to be some fun. In 6v6, that is not the case. You get massively punished for running around. Sprint out time's shit. And gunfire doesn't appear on the minimap. So your grasp of even roughly where the enemy is much more tenuous than any other Call of Duty game. So for those reasons, I'm not particularly excited for this map, despite doesn't even really matter how good it could be. And I'm assuming you agree with most of that, Tanner.
Yeah, I mean, if it's 6v6 only, we'll probably never even play it, so.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If there's like a playlist with just that map, I'm definitely going to play some. I'm going to get myself into this map for sure for a couple games. I want to see it, but I'm not excited about it at all. I did not see the Warzone Twitch rival winners today, Blood. I was working. Telecommuting, I think is what they call it. Controller players on PC, they still got console lobbies. Yeah. Yeah, it's input based. They said that at launch. That's why I've always said I'm glad someone finally figured it out. And it makes sense that they figured it out once there's money on the line. Matchmaking is input based. It is not system based. So the best of both worlds is to plug in your controller to a PC so you get aim assist, but you also get field of view, refresh rate, and frames. I'm totally unsurprised by that happening in Twitch Rivals. But I didn't watch it. I don't really like Warzone that much, so watching tournaments for it is uninteresting to me for the most part. So this map was supposed to have been added in the patch that was supposed to have been Tuesday. We're going to get into that. It's not in the game yet. They're also going to be adding a new operator, Talon. He looks like... he's not an edgelord. I can see his face. So I will not be ever playing as him. But he looks cool, I guess. Supposedly his finishing move involves his doge, which I think is kind of cool.
Oh.
Yeah, so he like does his finishing move and maybe his dog comes out of the ground and like whatever.
What's up with his face? Like the upper half of his face? You have oil slick all over it?
It's
or
not
what?
great.
What is that?
It's not great.
He's for sure going to be the ugliest looking operator in the game. It's just dumb.
Yeah.
Out of everything you could have designed, you designed Talon. Fuck you.
Yeah, I agree with that. He kind of looks like an anime character, you know, like these white dudes that look kind of like weird with like the hair. I don't know. I haven't looked at him much, but
I don't watch anime, so
I don't. God knows I don't watch anime either. We're too old for that, but we missed that wave. But so for you fucking weebs in the chat, can I get some Aya-chans in the chat? That's a Twitch joke. So if you're listening to this and wondering what the fuck I just said, you're not missing much. Don't worry about it. So anyway, he's going to be added, and his dog Indiana. Okay. And he's going to be coalition, in case you were curious about that. Let's see here. So, talk more a little bit about Kandar Hideout. This medium-sized map in Circustan? Is that a real country?
No.
I don't think that's a real country. Let's place some bets. Is this a real country? I'm going to agree with Tanner that this is not a real country.
They're combining like Syria and Afghanistan. Pakistan, some shit.
You're right, dude. That's literally what it is. SYR Kistan.
That's some genius dev that works for Activision thought he was smart. Yeah.
That's a big brain dev right there. Just crunch some fucking names together. Okay, so it's a fake place. And it has long sight lines and interior spaces to complement diverse combat ranges. Do you think they'll ever add this map to 10s like they did Crash?
The fact they're saying it's a medium-sized map seems like it, because I would consider, in this game, I would consider Crash a medium size, wouldn't you?
I would consider it even smaller than medium in this game. I feel like Crash is pretty small. Especially as far as 10s goes. Like, Crash is smaller than Ramaza. Crash is way smaller than Gunrunner. Or excuse me. Yeah. That's what I meant. That's what I meant to say. So hopefully they add this to 10s, because then that would be kind of cool if it's a good map. So, that would be dope. Bloodless says Talon is based off an actual operator. Oh, like Mara was, right? Well, Mara wasn't an operator. She's an Instagram.
Say it.
Hold on. Let me put this politely. Model. So maybe Talon's another Instagram model. So I'll do some research on that. We'll get back to you on Saturday. What else do we have here? Large centrally, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so long sight lines and then some interior things. And if you're watching the video, here's a picture of Talon. He's got a bunch of tattoos, I think. So he looks like Takashi 69. Maybe that's who this was modeled after. Although his tattoos are yellow and pink and purple, so maybe not. I don't know.
Is the top half of his head, is that tattooed? Is that what that is supposed to be?
That's my guess. That's what it kind of looks like. Dumb. Which is a yikes, by the way. Which is a yikes. So I've got some breaking news for you here. We have some. I've just received word that this might be who Talon is based off of. Based on real life Navy SEAL Andy Arabito. Dude, this guy's real? He tattooed his face like that?
It's covered up by the...
Oh, you guys can't see it, huh? All right, fuck, hold on.
Can't see it either.
Damn. There. You guys can see him right here. Dude, is that real? It's not a tattoo? Okay, well, I can't tell because the image quality is so bad, but whatever. You guys can tell me what the fuck it is. I don't care anymore.
It's just face paint or something. Maybe somebody pops his head over a little, fucking little wall or something to shoot somebody that can't see him as well. Yeah, see, like that shit football players. Well, that's what Bloodless said. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll fucking go with that, dude. We'll go with that. Okay. Let's see here. So that's pretty much it for the coming up. They're also going to add the 725 Mark II Deagle and EBR to Warzone. This was amusing to me to see in the patch notes because, first of all, why not just have all the guns from the get-go? Right? Number one.
Exactly.
And number two, who gives a fuck what guns are on the ground? I'm going to be buying my loadout in 30 seconds. Why does this matter? Like, that's such a weird thing. I don't understand this at all. And especially, so here, let's take a mental note here, boys and girls. This is the kind of shit they will add to their patch notes. This small, insignificant change, they'll put this in the patch notes. But they can add new attachments to guns and not put it in the patch notes. They can leave things out of patch notes that they've put into the game. But then they add this dumb shit to the patch notes that no one cares about because of loadouts. What else have they added to the game that they didn't put in the patch notes, Tanner?
They did a few weapons, like they added whole attachments and didn't say anything about it.
Yeah. Yep. There was something else that was absurd.
I thought the absolute same thing when I read this. I'm like, why, out of everything they leave out, why did they put this in?
Yeah.
That's something I wouldn't even have complained about if they left it out. I would just be like, oh, I think this wasn't in the game before. It's a 725. Boom, don't care. I have $6,000. I'm buying my custom loadout. Don't fucking care.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. So, I need to make one more note here. Okay. Sorry about that. So, that's pretty much it for this week in Modern Warfare shit. Let's see. So, as I said, we got word from Infinity Ward that, let me read this to you, and I quote, "This was on March 24th at 1:30 p.m., the day the patch was supposed to go live. Tonight's scheduled title update is being delayed and is set to release in the coming days. This update includes our new operator, new free modes, and our next free map. Please stay tuned for more details and updates on release timing." At the time of recording this video, at the time of doing this live stream podcast, it is 7:30 p.m. on March 26th. That has been 54 hours. Now, have we gotten more details and updates on release timing? Absolutely fucking not. So no one knows when this patch is going to come out. But I sure don't. I'd be surprised if Infinity Ward even knew. So we have no idea. Let's see here. And then on a unrelated to this Modern Warfare note, another leak from our boys over at Charlie Intel. So I didn't even know this was in the works. Did you, Tanner? MW 2?
Yeah.
Remastered?
I just didn't care because the remaster games, people play them for 2 weeks and then stop. Everyone gets so excited about these remaster games, but it's like, you're not going to play it for that long. I don't really care. It's just all stupid hype.
Well, I've got some good news for you. If you didn't care before, boy, wait till you hear this. Sources, MW 2 Remastered has no multiplayer. Hey, dude, why the fuck? We're going to remaster a campaign? First of all, how long can that take to remaster a campaign? 2 weeks?
Probably.
I mean, with Infinity Ward devs, sure, it can take 5 years, 8 years, like it's taken for this, probably. But if you're not going to remaster the multiplayer, why the fuck would you even do it? Hasn't every other remastered COD had multiplayer? Which is like the whole fucking point of remastering a game.
As far as I know, yeah. Who would want to play the campaign again? Just remastered. It makes no sense.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, I don't know. I guess they're going to remaster it and then not have multiplayer. I can't imagine what they're thinking here. Like, how is this a worthwhile investment? I wonder how much money they're putting into this and how much money they'll get out of it. Bet they want the full $60 for it. Yeah, true, Damascus, honestly. They'll charge like $55 and say we knocked off $5 because you're not getting multiplayer. So we'll develop 10% of the game and we'll charge you 90%. So anyway, if you were excited about that, sorry, not worth buying at all.
It says $25. Which is still too expensive for a remastered game.
Yeah, especially a remastered campaign that we've already played. You know, well, I haven't obviously, but yeah. So, I mean, look, guys. Now we're gonna get into it. Hey, boys and girls, that's all I've got for you. There's nothing else to cover. It's been a week, and nothing else has happened. Here we are, right? So now I have to be here like a fucking dancing monkey at a carnival to entertain you because you tuned in for an hour podcast or so. But I'm all out of news because there was no patches, very little announcements. All that's happened is that they've delayed a patch. That's the extent of the news in the last 7 days, 8 days actually, at the time of this podcast. So now we have to get into what the fuck is going on here. Now, Tanner made a statement jokingly about COVID-19 being the culprit behind this. He was joking, and we have our own theories, but I actually hadn't thought of that. So I'm curious, is there some element of truth to your joke statement? Because I'm sure coronavirus has taken devs out of like the office. Like, do they need to? I think they need to be in the office to code shit and stuff, right?
So I did hear about that somewhere that a lot of it was probably related to that. Because, yeah, I'm sure they can't be working at their office all the others. They're probably working from home, which means they can't work as effectively, I would assume. Like you're kind of saying, I'm sure there's no way they can do everything at home.
Yeah, there is
remotely like they can at work. So I think it's something to do with that. And then it's also obviously our next reason as well.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking this probably actually isn't their fault. I was ready to like rip Infinity Ward a new asshole, but I forgot about the global widespread pandemic that has gone up in cases to over 500,000 now. So 500,000 people's lives are in jeopardy, and I'm here about to whine to you on a podcast in my comfortable, well-lit RGB room about how mad I am at Infinity Ward for not giving me my content. So that's the kind of spoiled piece of shit capitalist pig that you're listening to right now. But what I was going to say was, and I still think there's an element of truth to this, there's no multiplayer content because Warzone came out, it got 30 million players now, and they don't give a fuck about multiplayer. What do you think? Now, I think it's a combination of those two things, which is why all of a sudden development has stopped, announcements have stopped, patch notes have stopped, hype has stopped. But what do you think the balance is? Do you think it's mostly coronavirus? Do you think it's mostly Warzone taking all of their time so they're neglecting multiplayer? What do you think it is, Tanner?
Well, I would think if it's really something to do with coronavirus, why would they not just make a statement? Nobody's going to get mad at them for saying, hey, this patch is going to be delayed a few days, maybe a week, because we're not working to our regular capacity due to a global pandemic. Hey, nobody's going to be mad at that.
Yeah.
They just be like, okay, like, yeah, stay safe. Good job playing it smart, like making all your employees work from home. Just say that.
That's a good point. Like, I'm not kidding. I swear to God, I'm not kidding. I honestly wouldn't have, despite the fact that my life is different now. Like, I work from home now, and I used to not work from home. I used to go to the office, and now I don't. And despite that, it literally did not occur to me that this slower news cycle, patch cycle, could be because of that. That's how much of that's how tunnel visioned I was on this. So it is weird that they didn't, like, sprinkle that into their statement for selfish pieces of shit like me to be like, hey, maybe take a second and like think what else could be going on here, you know? But I don't know. I don't know what the differential is. I don't know what percentage you could attribute to COVID and what you could contribute to Warzone. What I will say is that you can contribute a lot to Warzone. You can't blame this lack of multiplayer content or even announcements about multiplayer content on COVID, because even if there was no virus, we still would have been getting more multiplayer announcements before it reached this boiling point, the virus reached this boiling point, than we have. So it would have been like, oh, we have 8 new weapons and we have this map coming out and here's the season 3 roadmap. We would have been getting all that a couple weeks ago before Corona hit and then everything slowed down. But that's not what happened. Instead, what happened was all of their development resources, all of their time, all of their money, all of their labor was going into Warzone. And honestly, I'm pissed at how successful it's been, because what that means is, here's a little lesson in capitalism for you. That is called market pressure. Market demands. If they got 30 million players from Warzone, that means they're going to allocate their resources appropriately. So you can expect a bevy of Warzone content and a trickle of multiplayer content. And only they have the analytics, but I can virtually guarantee you more people are playing Warzone as opposed to multiplayer. Now, with that said, it might be smart for them to continue releasing multiplayer content at a faster rate than they have been since Warzone came out, to entice these free-to-play players who already have the game installed, who already have an account, to just slide me $60 and then you can play multiplayer too. Look at all the new shit we have coming out. Do you think they're taking that angle, Tanner?
I don't know what they're doing, dude. Warzone has just ruined multiplayer, I believe. It's going to make everything slower for the rest of the life cycle.
Dude, absolutely. And on the point, like I said, only Infinity Ward have the analytics. But here's what I can tell you. Here's a little anecdote. I have a couple of friends, good friends, named Itchy and Slushies. Slush Easy, Shitter. He's a man of many names. I don't know what to call him, but I call him Slush. And Tanner and I were playing Ground War last night, which is the biggest multiplayer lobby possible, right? 64 players. Guess who we ran into over and over again? Our 2 friends. Like, they were in the same lobby as us. And then we were also running into people who were not them over and over again all night. Now, before Warzone, I never saw the same person twice in Ground War lobbies, especially because you don't stay in the same lobby after the game. But if I'm seeing a bunch of the same people in Ground War, what does that mean? Anyone? Tanner?
Means 2 things. What is your answer?
Okay, well, I have my answer, but this is a pop quiz, Bueller. So what do you have to say?
1, everybody's playing Warzone and it's killing multiplayer. And 2, maybe there's skill-based matchmaking.
Ooh, interesting. I was not going to take that second angle. I still don't think there's skill-based matchmaking in Ground War. All I was going to say was, yeah, there's 70 people playing Ground War. So you're going to see a bunch of the same people in the same lobby now. So they've just... Like, look, I get it. People... And it's not exactly Infinity Ward's fault, because if a bunch of people are playing Warzone, obviously the players have spoken. They like Warzone or Plunder. But most people are playing Warzone. But still, as a multiplayer purist, I'm not happy about it. And I'm curious if because whenever you implement plans for new content, in the case of AAA, AAA in scare quotes title, like Modern Warfare. And I say that because no AAA company would ever have as abysmal of patch notes or communication with its player base as Activision Infinity Ward have. So big scare quotes on that, AAA. But if you are a AAA title and you do want to be releasing more content, it takes a long time from inception of the idea to implementation to actually releasing the goddamn thing. So what I'm concerned about, for their sake, mostly, and for my own, is if they come up with some grandiose plans about new shit to do with Warzone. So let's say, for example, they want to release a new Warzone map, and that's a project that takes 2 months. So they start making the map. They have they throw all this money and time and labor into it. And by the time those 2 months are up, no one gives a fuck about Warzone anymore. Some of those players have gone back to playing mostly multiplayer because they're tired of Warzone. Some of those players just aren't playing Call of Duty at all anymore. And then they've already sunk, for example, 5 weeks into this project. Now they're locked in for another 3 weeks because they're going to go all the way. But then when it comes out, like, no one's playing it anymore. And now that's 2 months just down the drain where there's very little multiplayer content because they responded to how many people were playing the game Warzone at the time, and they didn't correctly predict that people were going to get tired of it. And I still really do think Warzone, in the grand, menagerie of BR titles, is going to be a fad. I don't think it's going to last very long. I think it's good. I think it's fairly well done. But I think there are real problems, and you can listen to The Trouble with Warzone, which I believe is episode 11, to get our thoughts on that. And I think those problems, and the fact that BRs are kind of getting old with a lot of people now, I think for those reasons, it's not going to last. And then they're going to just waste all this time developing new content for it, and it's just going to shoot multiplayer in the foot. And then they're going to lose more faith from their core player base, which is people like you and I, Tanner. What do you think about that?
I think you said it perfectly. I mean, yeah, I feel like there's a really good chance they're going to do that and spend a lot of time. I mean, there's already a bunch of people complaining. Have you seen everybody on Twitter complaining about the hackers?
No.
And nonstop raging. They're like, all the console pros are like, Warzone is almost unplayable at this point. Like, I ran into 4 hackers while I was played for 2 hours today. And that's what's going to kill it. Because that's what happened to H1Z1. That was a great game. Hackers just destroyed it. They can never get a hold on it. And then, player base started going down. They made a few bad patches, and then the game was dead. And that could easily happen with this. Like, people will stop playing it because of hackers. That's a really big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, and why do you think there are so many hackers? Here's another pop quiz for you.
Free to play.
Free to play, exactly. I'm not necessarily against free to play, but dude, if the game is free and I didn't spend any money on this account and I don't really give a shit, why not hack? What's the worst that can happen? You get banned and you wasted none of your money. Like, that's another big problem, and it's a big concern, and it's something that they should have definitely seen coming. Like, I'm surprised it's that much of an issue that it's making it to Twitter, Yeah. Was Blackout free to play? BO4? Anyone in chat, do you guys know if Blackout was free? Because Bloodless made an interesting point. He said, it's funny because Blackout was dead while multiplayer was alive and well in BO4. And Blackout was not free. I don't think that's a coincidence. That's on PC, though. PC Blackout is dead, but that's a good
people
point,
still
too.
play Blackout on console, I know, and I doubt anyone plays multiplayer Black Ops. Well, people definitely.
No. But we're not talking about today. We're talking about when BO4 was the latest title.
Yeah.
But I think, interesting, I think even in the case of console, I think more people played multiplayer than Blackout toward the end. Like, after the honeymoon phase of Blackout wore off. So
it's just, again, it all comes down to what's the reason to play it. If they add a ton of content in, if they add calling cards, different things, it'll give people a reason to play. Otherwise, if you're getting shit on by a hacker, like every game, you're getting second place and then you get hit by a fucking aimbot, of course people are going to stop playing.
Yeah, that's another super good point. There's nothing to go for either. So, like, There are many reasons that I do not see Warzone lasting that long. So I think this is just going to be a bunch of dev resources sunk into a dying dream, and it's going to suck for multiplayer. But honestly, it's not like this game is amazing anyway. So I'm almost chalking up this whole game to a loss. You know, it hasn't been great so far. They're never going to change the mini map like I was hoping. They're never going to change the sprint out time, which I wasn't hoping. I never thought they were going to do that. So now it's just going to get even worse because they keep making sixes maps, which no one gives a fuck about because no one plays sixes because sixes sucks, which is what I was talking about before. So I don't know, dude. I'm going to keep playing the fuck out of the game. I still enjoy it immensely. But as far as Call of Duty standards go, it's not great. This is like episode 6 of Star Wars. And I mean the real episode 6, which was like 1982. Was it a great movie? Yes. 9 out of 10. Was it a great movie by original trilogy standards? No. It was the worst one. So I can say episode 6 was dog shit, but I could also say it's a great movie because it's two different standards that I'm using. And that's kind of how I feel about this title. By regular ass video game standards, this is a great game. It's a lot of fun. I play the fuck out of it. I play it more than any other game. So it's obviously a great game. But by Call of Duty standards, not great. Not great. Not fucking great. So, and Blood, you did make a comment about skill-based matchmaking. I will repeat this. I've said this on the last episode. I do not think there is skill-based matchmaking in Warzone or in Ground War. In the case of Ground War, I just don't think there's any SBMM. I think if I'm seeing a bunch of people in the same lobbies, I think that's only because there are not many people playing Ground War anymore. That was my point. And in the case of Warzone, if everyone you see is like some sweaty gold M4 user, I think it's because they separate those Warzone lobbies by free-to-play players is one pool, and then multiplayer full game owners is another pool. But I think outside of doing that, I don't think they do skill-based matchmaking. They wouldn't have risked saying we don't do skill-based matchmaking if there was skill-based matchmaking. They would have approached it the same way they approached the question when the game released, which is to say they wouldn't have made a comment about it at all, which they still haven't done for 6s and 10s. Freeze, welcome, by the way. What's up, man? Hey, sup, guys. Maybe they are going for nukes. I don't remember the context for that, my friend. I apologize. What's up, Destro? But if you want to remind me, Freeze, I'll be happy to chime back in with you. I've been on a little bit of a rant. Infinity Ward's got me fucked up, as the kids would say. They've got me all in a tizzy. So I was just on a rant. So I apologize for missing that. Yeah, Destro, there was a sub gift train. So you can thank Damascus Impaler for that one, brother. And welcome. So let's see. So, Tanner, do you think Warzone is going to lose popularity?
I do think it will, but I still think it'll be alive and well for probably 2 months at least, minimum. I think it'll be extremely popular still for another month. And then 2 months, it'll kind of start to die off. And then within 3 or 4 months, multiplayer will be the king again by a lot.
Interesting. And you think the content distribution will follow that pattern? So it's going to be mostly Warzone content for 3 or 4 months, followed by multiplayer content after that? Is that what you think?
Probably, yeah. I hope, hey, if there's more Warzone content and there's some good patches, we may start playing it again. I don't know. I was still having fun with Plunder. You just get over game types too quickly.
It's just again, like we talked about before, dude. There's nothing to go for. It's like if we win, it's fun. To go for. But it's like, yeah, I don't know.
It's still super hype, though. I don't know. I still want to play Plunder like one day out of the week. Like,
yeah,
we can.
I'm not like done with Plunder. I'm just was getting kind of kind of bored of it. Ground war players. Yeah, that could be Freeze for sure. But by the way, I think eventually we will do this episode. If you guys want us to do this episode, let me know. Maybe we'll do it this Saturday because we're trying to think of ideas. But one of the podcast episode ideas we had, and I think we're still going to do eventually, is tips on how to get the nuke. Because if you guys out there are listening and you want the calling card, you could, I'm sure, use some tips. We got some good feedback and some thanks, and that it was helpful. Our last episode on the Damascus grind, we had some good info on that. Since we both have Damascus, we have a lot of things to say about it and tips. And since we also both have the new calling card, we have some tips on that as well. And we will eventually do a full episode, I think. But let us know if you guys want that to happen. But I will say in the meantime, Freeze, if you're going for a nuke, I don't think Ground War is the play. I think you want to play 10s. Ground War, there are too many people, and it's... I mean, obviously it can be done, but basically what I would say is that if you have a squad of 3 other people who are all in voice and are willing to, like, communicate with you and help you and say, oh, there's a guy behind you, like, oh, I'll watch this corner or I'll watch this angle, then Ground War nuke could be easier. But if not, if you don't have anyone like that, I think it's going to be way easier to do it in 10s. It was way easier for Tanner and I to do it in 10s than in Ground War. But we only really played with each other. So it was hard to, like, really, you know, call everything out and stuff in Ground War because there's just so many players. Yeah. So especially if you're playing solo, because we both got it solo playing 10s. I was eating dinner when he got it, and then I think he was at work when I got it. So
yeah, it was like the next day or something, wasn't it? 2 days later after I got mine.
It was pretty shortly after. Yeah.
I think we do need to do that nuke tips because at this point, like, the game's been out for a long time. A lot of people already have it. We need to just get the tips out there for those still going or for those newer players that want that calling card now and they're going to start going for it.
Okay.
We probably should do that Saturday.
I think maybe we'll do that Saturday. We have a couple notes on it already, and I've got a lot to say about that, and so does Tanner. Crichton says this game will stay a bit popular as long as the very big streamers keep playing it. Once Valorant comes out, it will die down a lot. Yeah, I mean, all the big streamers will go to Valorant, at least for a while. That's for sure true.
That's pretty much what I was saying. Like, when I was saying it'll be really popular for 1 month, I think that's the cycle that the big streamers are going to keep playing it.
All the big streamers, they just go from the most popular game to the new, like, hype thing.
Yeah.
I feel like. So, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Freeze says that would be sweet, as in the Nuke Tips podcast. My best was 27, but I choked trying to cross map LMG. That was 6s on Dom. Yeah, Dom is definitely my favorite playlist to go for nukes in. I happen to get mine in headquarters, but Dom is really good too. 27, yeah, that sucks, man. That sucks. The key, I think, is, like, the more you go for it, the more often you'll get into those high 20s. So, like, before Tanner and I got it in this game, we were getting to, like, 26, 27, 28 pretty regularly. So once you get that high enough times, you don't feel quite as many nerves. Like, each time you get there, you're, like, less and less nervous because it's more and more confirmation that you can get here again, you know? So just keep pushing for it, man. But you're always going to have those nerves, especially for the first one, since you want the card and stuff, you know? So here's another thing that surprised me. Speaking of Warzone, I thought by now they would have changed the cost of the loadout drop. But number one, they haven't. Number two, they haven't said they're going to or even thinking about it. And number three, I don't see anyone else complaining about it anymore. What do you think about this?
I've still seen some people complaining on Twitter. I do think they'll change it. I'm guessing next Tuesday, which will be... I'm guessing March 31st will have a big Warzone update, and it'll change things like that. Also, while we're on that topic, this patch that was supposed to come out last Tuesday, and they said it'd be out in the coming days. I bet that won't be here until Tuesday either. So a week past when they said. That's what I'm guessing, 31st.
I think that's true.
I don't see it coming out now. Like, if it hasn't came out by today, I don't see it coming out Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. But we'll see.
Those are good points. You do think they'll change the cost of it, though? The loadout drop?
Yeah, I think they will. There's been a lot of people complaining. I think they will.
Still, really? Okay. Interesting. Raz OnlyFans win. Yeah. Keep your fingers crossed, brother. Patreon win is a valid question. OnlyFans, no one wants to see that. Except your sister.
Damn. Maybe instead of a Patreon, we should just get big companies to sponsor us, like Steel Series.
Yeah,
they sent me this for free,
Steel
by
Series
the way.
are these super comfortable all-white headsets that are just working fantastically. And
dude, these are actually...
whose product I've had no problems with, and whose ear cups are not way too small at all. And I definitely did not have to go elsewhere and buy third-party aftermarket ear cups because the original ones were too small. That didn't happen. So if you wanted to sponsor us, Steel Series, hit me on Twitter. Or hit TANNERRRR54 on Twitter.
Dude, the ear cuffs that came with were so bad. Like, what was that? These leather ones I got from them, the leather cushion, these are a lot better. They feel like my old headset.
Yeah, that was the only problem with them. They're excellent, but the ear cups were too small. They would just fold my ear into my skull. It was terrible. So anyway.
My favorite thing is now, since there's no wire, I can just take this shit off and just throw it against the wall.
Yeah.
Bust out my next one.
When
I
you get
ordered
pissed.
4.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, they were so cheap. You could have ordered like 8. Yeah.
That was actually such a good deal.
That was a good deal. How much off did you get? Like $70 off or something?
It's like 33% off, like everything in their store.
That's fucking nuts, dude. That's awesome. So, Tanner, what happened at your? So we're gonna switch gears a little bit here. So coronavirus, global pandemic sweeping the globe. Things are kind of crazy. Society has never encountered something of this ilk in modern history. Certainly not in anyone's lifetime who is alive in 2020. And that includes a certain store that Tanner works at, whose name will not go mention unless he wants to mention it. But something novel and fun and exciting happened a week or so ago, brought on by this pandemic. Why don't you tell us about that fun and exciting event that you had over on the work front due to coronavirus?
Wait, what are you talking about? Oh, how we don't allow people in anymore?
No. Well, you can talk about that too, but I was talking about the how are you dumb?
Well, I have no idea what you're talking about.
You guys got robbed.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I honestly forgot about that already.
Okay.
Yeah, I work at GameStop. Exactly. They broke in and they broke in and gave us a bunch of copies of Modern Warfare back.
Yeah, for sure.
No, yeah, I don't think so. The whole building is like, it's glass on the outside. The front door is glass. The windows are glass. I mean, the front door, the windows, just fucking glass everywhere. Easy to break into, but it's on a pretty busy street. But like, we're in a small little quaint town.
A small, humble town, one might say.
So the downtown is asleep after 6 p.m. So
yeah,
it was like at 11 o'clock. Some dude just rolled up to the front of the store, searched around for 3 minutes, found a big rock, chucked it through the front door, ran in, and he stole this power tool set that was like $450. Ran out of there. It was gone in like 10 seconds. And it's just weird because, like, it could just be random. It could just be the luck of the draw. But like, the owner, who's been there for like 30 years or something, he was like, I don't even remember or know of the last time that this place was broken into. And it just so happens to happen now. So
I think they're probably related.
Yeah.
But if there's
Here's what
one
I'm
thing
thinking.
Go ahead.
My theory is the dude's probably out of work. he's like, shit, I need to make some money. He steals that thing and could turn it for $300, $400, some quick little cash. Probably what it is.
That must be it. Because, you know, if there's one thing I want during a national quarantine, it's a fucking fancy power drill. That's not what I want. So yeah, he probably tried to flip that shit. Quick little drug money, easy.
Yeah.
Bloodless says 5 confirmed cases within my student body. Damn, dude. I'm glad I've graduated with a bachelor's degree in philosophy. I'm not glad, but I'm glad that I'm out of school. So we'll go with that. Raz confirmed necrophile. Jesus, I hope your sister's not dead. That'd be awkward. That'd be a real bummer to bring up on a podcast, wouldn't it, Blood? What, Tanner?
Do you feel like, even though it's getting worse and worse, that people are just like, the virus is going up with the fucking deaths and people caring is just going down? Do you feel that way too? I'm seeing more and more people out.
I like the graphical illustration.
Like that fucking graph. Like
it was very aggressive, like up, down. I don't know, dude. It depends. I feel like people are freaking out more now.
So
more and more people are like, oh shit, this thing is real, you know?
Like when I don't leave my house, I feel that way. But since you've been working from home, I don't know, like a lot of people just don't give a shit. Like, cause I'm out going to work and stuff. And then when I'm driving, like the number of cars I feel like has gone back up again in the last few days. And it looks like normal days out there on the street with people driving around. It was a little eerie for a while there, but I just feel like people are not caring anymore.
That's interesting.
And then it's just going to end up making everything worse because people aren't going to do the social distancing bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, people are going to get tired of it sooner or later. What's up, Shadow? It's all going to depend, I think, on if the government cuts everyone a fucking fat check or not. Because if they don't, people are going to go from I'm scared of coronavirus to I'm scared of getting evicted. And then you're really going to get your store robbed. You know, it's going to be crazy. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I haven't left my house in weeks. I don't know.
That's
I literally
crazy.
don't know the last time I left my house. I can't remember.
Your car probably
I
won't
can.
even start.
It was Friday when I last went to work, which was, I think, the 13th. So almost 2 weeks now. But fine with me. I didn't even notice. So,
It's actually crazy.
What's up, Shadow? How's it going, dude? So
and out of that,
go ahead, Tanner.
And out of that, I feel like you spend like 22 hours out of the day in that bedroom too, huh?
Oh,
if you're working in there all day.
Yeah, I work in here.
23 hours. Yeah.
I eat in here. By the way, Pornhub free premium for everyone. I swear to God, they're trying to encourage people to stay inside. So this is their little promotion. So you can get free Pornhub premium, 30 days. Figure it out. So keep that in mind. I swear to God, go check in on it yourself.
No, I was laughing at what Blood said.
What did Blood say? Can you imagine all the subs you're gonna get when we get that one-time $1,200 check? All because some dude ate a rat. I know, true. That's your people, isn't it though, Blood? He was Asian, right? Didn't he tell us that?
I don't know, was he?
Someone from that continent. So you're gonna have a talk with your people, Blood. Jokes. I'm kidding. Relax. Do not cancel me. Anything else, young Tanner?
Absolutely nothing. I don't know how we made this podcast last that long.
I'm a dancing circus monkey. That's how we made it last this long. So, next episode is going to be Saturday, which will be in 2 days at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Follow the stream if you're here live and you want to see the next episode. I think we will probably do nuke tips on Saturday. That's probably what the episode's going to be about. But that is not 100% confirmed. I'll think about it a little more, but I think that's what it's going to be about. So if you want to see that, follow the stream. I've got a YouTube channel. I've got a Twitch that you're on. I've got a Twitter. I've got a Instagram, TikTok, all that bullshit. Search for Razinon, Razinon. Also join the goddamn Discord, which I've conveniently linked for you. And Again, I'm looking for the logo. So if you guys know of anyone or know of any good websites besides Fiverr to go to, then please let me know. And if you're listening to this not on Twitch, maybe you're on YouTube watching the video, maybe you're listening on Apple Podcasts. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, I want to ask you humbly to rate the fucking podcast 5 stars. It would help me a lot. And maybe I'll have a Patreon soon. You've all got time now to listen to podcasts, so maybe I'll make more. So keep that the fuck in mind. Tanner, where can we find you?
Twitter at TANNERRRR54. Now I still haven't changed it.
Okay, so once again, real quick for you guys, you can find Tanner on Twitter and only on Twitter and in my Discord, which once again I've conveniently linked for you in the chat, or if you're listening on a podcast platform, that will be in the show notes. On YouTube, it's in the description. The links are there. Join the Discord. You can read all about me and Tanner, ask us questions, find a squad. Or you can find Tanner on Twitter. And that is once again TANNERRRR54. And after you followed him, you can tweet at him to change his fucking handle. Anything else, young man?
Nope.
That is it.